When my best friend called me crying at 2 a.m. saying she had nowhere to go, I didn't even hesitate. I gave her my spare room, bought her food, helped her get back on her feet, and 3 weeks later, my boyfriend vanished without telling me a single word. I met Kayla during my first year of college. She was loud, chaotic, funny, the type of girl who could become friends with a cashier in under 30 seconds. We became inseparable fast, matching bracelets, late-night drives, trauma dumping at 3 a.m. Honestly, she felt more like family than my actual family. But Kayla always had drama following her. Toxic relationships, random fights, jobs she'd quit after 2 weeks. I kept defending her, though, because every disaster came with a heartbreaking story. And if I'm being honest, I liked feeling needed. Then one night, almost 6 years into our friendship, she called me sobbing hysterically. Apparently, her boyfriend kicked her out after accusing her of cheating. She swore he was lying, said she had nowhere else to go. So of course I said, "Come stay with me." Biggest mistake of my life. At first, everything felt normal. She helped clean, cooked dinner sometimes, even joked around with my boyfriend, Daniel. Actually, maybe a little too much. I noticed small things first, inside jokes between them I didn't understand. Her laughing extra hard at his comments. Daniel suddenly spending more time at home instead of going out with friends. But every time I felt uncomfortable, I told myself I was being insecure because Kayla was my best friend. Then weird things started happening. She began borrowing my clothes without asking, using my perfume, watching shows with Daniel that we used to watch together. One night, I walked into the living room and they immediately stopped talking. That awful silence hit the room instantly. You know the kind, where your stomach already knows before your brain catches up. But I ignored it. Again, because I trusted them, until the phone incident. Daniel left his phone charging in the kitchen while he showered, and suddenly it lit up. A message preview from Kayla. Delete our texts before she sees. My entire body went cold. I remember staring at the screen, unable to breathe. Part of me wanted to unlock the phone immediately. Another part was terrified of confirming my worst fear. So instead, I waited. I watched them. And once you notice something, you can't unnotice it. The lingering eye contact, the tension, the way she touched his arm constantly. Then, one Friday night, Daniel said he was working late. Cool, normal. Except Kayla suddenly said she was sleeping at a friend's house at the exact same time. I think deep down I already knew, but I still drove to Daniel's office anyway, just to calm myself down. Except his car wasn't there. I called him. Straight to voicemail, called Kayla, phone off. That was the exact moment panic turned into rage. I drove home shaking, and around 1 a.m. I heard footsteps outside my apartment. Then laughter, their laughter. I looked through the peephole and saw them standing together in the hallway, drunk, holding hands. I genuinely thought I was going to throw up, but it gets worse, because when I opened the door, neither of them even looked guilty. Daniel actually sighed like I was the inconvenience. Then Kayla said, "We were going to tell you eventually." Eventually, eventually. I started screaming, crying, asking how long it had been happening, and Daniel casually replied, "A few weeks." A few weeks? While she lived in my apartment? While I paid for groceries? While I comforted her crying over another man? I felt humiliated beyond words. Then Kayla said something that changed everything. He was happier with me. That sentence shattered something in me. Because suddenly I realized this wasn't accidental. She didn't just fall for him. She wanted my life, my apartment, my relationship, maybe even my identity. Then Daniel grabbed a backpack and said, "I'm leaving." Just like that. 2 years together, reduced to one sentence. And the craziest part? He left with her. I stood there in absolute silence as they walked away together. No apology, no remorse, nothing. The next few days were honestly dark. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. Every corner of the apartment reminded me of them laughing behind my back. But karma works fast sometimes. About 3 weeks later, Daniel texted me a giant paragraph. Apparently, Kayla cheated on him too. With some guy she met online, he wrote, "I made the biggest mistake of my life." I stared at that message for 10 whole minutes, then laughed harder than I had in weeks. Because imagine destroying your relationship for someone who treats loyalty like a joke. He begged to come back, said he missed me, missed our life together. But honestly, the pain changed me. I realized something important. Anybody willing to betray you that easily was never truly yours to begin with. So I blocked both of them, changed apartments, started therapy, and slowly rebuilt myself from scratch. Last I heard, they hate each other now. Meanwhile, I'm finally peaceful. But even today, I still struggle when people say, "You can trust your friends around your partner," because sometimes the people closest to you aren't secretly protecting your heart. They're studying your life, hoping to take pieces of it for themselves. If your best friend stole your partner while living in your house, who would hurt you more, the friend or the boyfriend?